Hey, everybody. Welcome. My name is Erica Belay, and I am a mortgage loan officer with Best Life Mortgage. Thank you so much for coming to my live stream. We're actually streaming right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And for those of you who might be tuning in and watching this later, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. It is November, I don't even know, it's November 18th. And I have started a series of live streams on your path to home ownership. So last week I talked about the life of the loan and all the steps of the loan. So if you missed that, the stream is available on my YouTube channel and on Facebook and probably on LinkedIn too. And tonight I'm going to be talking about financial preparedness for purchasing a home. This will be great for first-time home buyers or anybody who's just thinking they want to become a first-time home buyer in the future, or anybody who's wanting to buy a house again. Maybe you hadn't bought a house in a while and you just kind of forgot what all it entails and what all you need to have together to purchase a home. Just a little bit about me. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Best Life Mortgage. We are a brokerage, so that means that we have access to a bunch of different lenders. So I work for my client. I don't work for the lenders. That means that I can shop for the best deal, the best rates. I can do all that shopping for the financing for my borrowers so that my borrowers can focus on the fun stuff like shopping for the house. I'm also a real estate investor. I have been a real estate investor myself since 2012, 14-ish. And so I'm really passionate about home ownership as an investment tool. Like investing in a home is probably one of the biggest investments that most people will make, but also just investing in homes as rental properties and all those things. So I'm really passionate about this, and I want to just share and help people learn about it so that more people can achieve the dream of home ownership, or even achieve the dream of purchasing rental properties, all the things. So let's get into what it takes and what it means to be financially prepared to purchase a home. Let me get my presentation here. Okay. So being financially prepared is more than just putting money away in the bank. I mean, obviously, you're probably going to have some money put away in the bank. But in a sense, I'm going to use this analogy of a house, right? You are laying your own foundation, frame, roof to build a financial home of preparation, right? So I'm going to talk about this financial home of preparation tonight. So the goal for you here is not to buy a home and then regret that purchase and be house broke because you or house poor because you spent too much money on a house and you can't live the lifestyle that you want. So the goal here is to finance a home that fits into your lifestyle. A lot of people talk about, you can get into a mortgage for cheaper than you can rent. Well, that's absolutely true. Most landlords are charging more for rent than what they're paying for the mortgage. However, there are some things that you have to have, and you have to be financially prepared. In this, we're going to use this analogy of the house to be financially prepared to purchase a home. So the foundation, the first thing, the foundation of being financially prepared is your income and your work history. So obviously, the higher your income, the better, the more house you're going to be able to afford. But it's not just your income, it's your income and your debts. So we look at your debt to income ratio. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But really, we're going to look at, all lenders are going to look at your income, but they're going to look at your work history. Lenders want typically 2 years of work history. Now, there are some different things, some different exceptions to that I will talk about here in a second. But not just 2 years of like you working, jumping from job to job to job to job. If you're just jumping around to all different jobs, that's not going to really look that great to a lender. They want income that is stable and increasing. Okay. Also, there's if it's variable, like if you're working variable hours or you have variable income, that that comes into play. So that's why we want the 2 years work history, like especially if you are like self-employed for instance, or if you're a commission employee, we've got to average all of that income over 2 years. Full-time is considered at least 30. So we want to see like a solid, like consistent 32 plus hours a week of work if you're an hourly employee. Now, as I said before, there are some exceptions to that 2-year work history. And by the way, it does not have to be 2 years for the same company. You could have had multiple jobs in 2 years, but if there's a gap in employment, that could be a red flag. And like I said before, if you're job hopping a lot, that could be a red flag. But if you're changing jobs to increase your pay, that's a good thing, right? So they want to see that that income is increasing. So it is, if you're staying along the same lines of work, but have 2 years of history in the same line of work, then that's good. Now, you might be wondering, what if I just got out of the military? Or what if I just graduated from college or just got out of a trade school? Well, the trade school or your college transcripts and your time in college or your military experience can count as your 2-year work history for lenders. Now, in terms of that, it has to be in the trade that you're in. So for instance, if you've been in a welding trade school and then you go to become a car salesman, well, that's not going to count as a 2-year employment history. But if you've been in trade school for welding and now you have become a welder, well, that now is a solid 2 years could be solid 2 years of employment history. So the first step in building your foundation is having solid income and employment history. Now, the next step in our analogy is the walls, right? So the walls and the frame. Your spending and your saving habits will make the walls of this financial home, right? Most home loans require that you have a minimum of 3 to 5% as a down payment. Now, a VA loan, you can have 0% down. A USDA loan, you could have 0% down. But for typical conventional loans, for first-time home buyers, we can go 3 to 5% down. FHA loans, it's a 3.5% down. So you typically are looking at a minimum down payment. Now, the more money you put down, the better your interest rates are going to be, the more equity you're going to have. So that down payment accomplishes a lot of things, such as just giving you, like, having more skin in the game, having more equity and less loan. So the more money you can put down, typically the better. But let's put this into perspective for a first-time home buyer. Right now, I live in Kyle, Texas. I do business all over the state of Texas, but let's just say right now in this area, from San Antonio to Austin, and probably in a lot of areas, I mean, you're probably not seeing many houses under the $250,000 price point. They're out there, but so I'm going to use a $250,000 purchase price, 3% down payment of a $250,000 purchase price is $7,500. So you have to have $7,500 as a down payment. But it's not just down payment. You also have to have closing costs. So closing costs are an additional 3 to 5% of the loan amount. So if you put a down payment of $7,500 on a $250,000 home, that means you're going to borrow $242,500. Now, if we because we subtracted that down payment. So now 3% of that loan amount, and this is on the low side, right? 3% of $242,500, that's $7,275. So a down payment of $7,500, closing costs of $7,275, that comes up with, you're going to have to be able to come up with $14,775 at closing. Now, that might seem scary for a lot of you. And we do have some different down payment assistance programs. But even with down payment assistance programs, you typically have to be able to come up with closing costs. Or even if we do have some programs that can help you cover the closing costs, those programs with down payment payment assistance and closing costs are going to have a lot higher interest rate. Okay. The other thing you have to think about too, when you're putting less than 20% as a down payment, is you're also going to have mortgage insurance. Now, I do have one company now that just announced that they're not doing charging mortgage insurance if you have 10% down. But there's all these little factors that come to play. So I'm not saying this to scare anybody from homeownership, but when you are thinking about making this decision to purchase a home, you need to start putting money aside. You need to start saving, because you are going to be in a much better shape to get qualified for that loan if you have some skin in the game, if you have some down payments, if you have enough money for closing costs. And right here in this example of a minimum of $14,775, that's closing costs and down payment for a $250,000 home. Okay, so the next thing, and so that's our walls, is our savings, our down payment. So the next thing, the roof of our house in our analogy here is your credit, right? So your credit score. And there are multiple loan options out there, and all the loans have different criteria. But in general, you're going to have a minimum credit score of 580 to 640, depending on the lender, depending on the loan program. So minimum credit score of 580 to 640. And again, the better your credit score, the better your interest rate. So that 580 credit score can get you into a home. And so for a lot of you who might be working on your credit, homeownership is not out of the question. You're just going to have to do some things to work on your credit. But the better you work on your credit, the better you build your credit score up, the better your interest rates are, which also means that you could afford more house, right? So when we pull credit, we're also looking at like your debts, your credit card debt, your car payments, student loan debt, all of the debts, your minimum monthly payments on those debts are factored into your debt to income ratio. And so in general, like the maximum debt to income ratios could be anywhere from like 30 to 50%, depending on the different loan programs. But really, just in general, you just need to be thinking, I need to pay down my debt. I need to not have too much debt. I need to work on your credit score. Some other things that factor into this credit score are on-time payments. If you have a lot of late payments, that's going to lower your credit score. The high balances. So if in general, the creditors are looking for less than 30%. So like on your credit cards, you want less than 30% to be using less than 30% of that card limit. So it's it is better to have 3 to 5 credit cards with low balances than it is to have one credit card with a high balance. Okay. The other thing that we're looking for when we look at these credit scores is that you have a history. So if you're just now starting to build credit and you don't have any credit at all, you go out and like open 2 credit cards and then think you're going to go try to buy a house. Well, a lot of times we want those credit accounts to be at least a year old. So your credit, they're called trade lines. So your credit lines be at least a year old. So there's a lot of different things that factor into credit. And I even have some of my mentors that have told me in my real estate investing world that talk about your credit is almost more important than your savings, right? That credit is that number that tells that lender that you are responsible with your money. If you've got a lot of late payments and a lot of debt, and you're not making those payments on time and you're not using your credit cards wisely, well, that's not going to put you in a very good light to these lenders. You're not going to look like you're responsible with your money. So really working on your credit. And I was a teacher in my past life, and I used to talk to my students about this because kids right out of high school make this mistake a lot, just, charging a bunch of credit cards and opening up all the credit cards because you get the free t-shirt when you sign up for the credit card, all those things. Really being responsible with your credit is a huge part of your financial preparedness for purchasing a home. All right. So the next thing that we're going to factor in is your lifestyle. Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What are your financial habits? So sometimes you could qualify for a really high loan amount, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be taking out a loan that high based on your spending habits, based on the lifestyle that you want to live. And so that's where we come in, where I come in as your mortgage professional. My job is the builder, right? I'm going to help construct this product, this loan product, to like bring to fruition your goal of owning a home. And so I'm going to take into all the factors: your income, your debt, your credit score, the amount of money you have, assets, and then also the payment amount that you're going to feel comfortable with so that you can continue to lead the lifestyle that you want to lead. And then that's what we will talk about in terms of pre-approving you for this loan, for this home loan. So when you're looking for a lender, and I hope that I can be that lender for you, you want somebody that you can trust. And that's, I would never pre-approve you for a loan that I didn't feel comfortable and that you didn't feel comfortable with, right? So you want a lender that you can trust, and you want a lender that's going to really look into your details and make sure that everything is verified, so that when you go in to submit that loan, when you go in to make that offer, that, that you're solid, that your financial house that we have built from the foundation, walls to roof, that you're a good, viable candidate, right? And so, so if I can help you do that, I'm happy to do a free analysis of your situation to tell you where you're at and what you need to do to get mortgage ready. If you're there, I can get you pre-approved. But I'd love to be that person to help you out and to find the right program for you, right? So let's get you into your home. Let's lay that foundation for your financial future. And, let's stop paying rent, paying somebody else's mortgage. You need to start paying your mortgage, right? So anyway, if I can be of assistance to you, you can reach out to me in the comments here. I will check the comments and get back to you. I can also, let me put it up there. There's my contact info. You can also call me at 210-279-4392. And my email address is ericabelay@bestlifemortgage. You can email me, you can call me, you can text me, whatever you need to do to get in touch with me, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I also, before I let you go, I do want to talk a little bit more about my company, about Best Life Mortgage. So I already said at the beginning that we are a brokerage. So that means that we have access to lots of different lenders. I think we're up to like 20 lenders. I'm not sure how many. We have access to a bunch of different lenders with a bunch of different products. So the typical products are your conventional loan, your VA, your FHA, USDA loans. Those are your agency loans. But then I can also do bank statement loans for self-employed borrowers who maybe write off a whole lot on your taxes. So maybe it doesn't look like you have a lot of income. So we can do a bank statement loan for investors. I can do some debt service coverage loans. So that's like basically when the rental income, if you want to buy a rent house, if the rental income is more than the mortgage and you have a good credit score and a down payment, you qualify. So I have a lot of cool little products to get people into homes. So that's the beauty of a brokerage, is that I can shop around and I can figure out what the best product is with the best rates available for you. And even if you're refinancing, I can help you with all of these things as well. So Best Life Mortgage is, we're a one-stop shop for just about everything you could need in the home loan process, right? And your home loan needs. The other thing is our company mission is just to provide our clients with a first-class experience. So, we're a team. I'm on the team with my clients, with the realtor partners that I work with. It's a team experience. We want all of our clients to experience a first class, to be my client for life. I want you to come back to me for refinances, for purchases, and to to refer your family members to me. But in order for you to do that, you're going to want to have a great experience with me. So I definitely want to provide that for you. Another part of our mission at Best Life Mortgage is just to empower a growth mindset. And so, we're called Best Life Mortgage for a reason. And my mentors, as they say it all the time, like, we're a personal development company with a compensation plan on the side. And so I've developed a lot personally being a part of this company. And, I'm living the best version of myself, living my best life. And I want that for my clients. I want that for my realtor partners. So I feel really proud to be a part of a company that has this in our mission. And then the third part of our mission is that we are a tithing company. We give 10% of corporate profits to a company called Destiny Rescue, which liberates kids from the shackles of human trafficking. So it's a really great cause. Destiny Rescue does some undercover operations in scenarios where they're rescuing kids out of these horrible situations, but also counseling them, giving some job training, some different things so that they can get out of this horrible situation that they're in and live their best life too. So as Best Life Mortgage, our goal is to liberate 500 kids per year, and every 7 loans helps us liberate a child. So we'd love for you to be part of that mission. And I'd love to be able to help you get into your home and live your best life, and also through that be able to give back to such a worthy cause. So anyway, thank you so much again for tuning in. Please reach out. My cell phone number is there. Email, send me a message. You can send me a message on Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, lots of different ways to get in contact with me. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I will not be doing a live stream next Thursday because it is Thanksgiving. But the following week, I will be talking a little bit more about some down payment assistance programs to get you on your path to homeownership. So look forward to hearing from you. Have a great one.